What?
What?
What you talking about?
Talking about Randy Moss.
Oh,
That's gonna be a fun topic.
yep. I'm gonna be on his head.
I got all the
Nobody already knows who
stats.
my best wide receiver is, man.
Who?
It ain't neither of them.
Don't say it.
Megatron,
Don't say
bro.
it. Ah,
Oh, what?
Megatron, man. No one. Man,
You must be
beast.
talking about from the Transformers.
I'm talking
You
about
can't be
Calvin
talking about the
Johnson.
receiver.
I'm talking about Calvin.
hey, I respect it. I like Calvin Johnson. He ain't my favorite, but I like Calvin Johnson.
Nah, I think if I had to pick between those two, Calvin's top 5. But if I had to pick between those two, it'd either be Jerry, man. I think Jerry's the
top
best.
5?
Who, Calvin?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Mm.
I mean, Calvin retired when he was, 29, 30?
Yeah.
So that takes about.
He still had, but the thing about it is, man, the Lions are trash. Me being a Lions fan, I shouldn't even be saying that, but you retired Barry Sanders early and Calvin early.
Yeah.
Trash.
What's up, Podsters? Welcome back to Pod Ties, episode 29. One shy.
Oh,
One shy of 30. I am 1/4 of Pod Ties, Dylan, and these are my brothers / co-hosts, Jeff. Drip Jeff in the building.
Drip Santa today. Drip claws.
oh no.
Albert, the original.
Let's go.
And last but not least, the one, the only, Kyron.
Yes, sir.
Well, you heard me hesitate a little bit there because you're not the last one today. Hold on. When you said my Siri came on. No, not you, Siri. You aren't our honorary Pod Ties co-host.
I ain't need to do that. I meant to hide myself.
Yeah, Kyron, I don't know if you heard me hesitate there, but you're not the last person that I'm introducing on this episode. Because for episode 29, we have an honorary Pod Ties co-host.
Oh,
Tyler. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. No hero.
What's good?
No hero.
Thanks for having me. Hey, I'm the better one, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
sure. You played ball in college. Tell them
ball
about
in college.
Talk
Little
your
ball in
stuff.
college, man. Nothing too crazy. I wasn't Tyler Hero status, but I'm like a spot up shooter, little like Kyle Korver out there.
ooh.
So if anybody's looking for a shooter, I'm available.
Ooh.
10-minute
Shoot
contract.
better than LeAngelo Ball.
Hey, definitely better than LeAngelo Ball. My contract will last a little bit longer than his. My stint will probably be a little longer.
That wasn't even a question to answer. The real question is, can you rap and shoot better than J. Cole, the real Detroit Piston?
Boom.
I cannot know.
Oh,
Maybe a country singer. That's in my realm, but not rapping. No.
that's funny. Well, yeah, we are very happy to have you on for this episode today. We're gonna get into a lot of great topics. A lot of stuff happened this past weekend. Obviously, the college football games, conference championships. We had a lot Saturday. My eyes were glued to the TV the whole day, just trying to make sure that I went undefeated, 6-0, but that didn't happen. But
Never.
hey, Christmas hasn't come yet, so there's a Christmas miracle. I can feel it. First place, baby. I'm on my way, Kyron. Don't get too comfortable.
Don't you get too comfortable.
That's what you asked Santa for Christmas?
Yeah.
To not lose.
He said no.
that and some Jeff Mans. I'm still waiting on my order.
Coming soon. It's coming soon. With COVID, we're kind of backed up right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's it.
They on back order.
Albert,
Sir.
something else happened Saturday night. Verzuz. You want to talk a little bit about Too Short and E40? Ooh.
Yeah, let me take off this mask because, my winning is so contagious. I beat Dylan twice. Well, 3 times actually in fantasy, but we'll talk about that later.
No, let's talk about that now, actually. What happened in Final Fantasy? Well, we're in the
I
championship.
won
Started next week,
again.
right?
Yeah.
You blew me
I
out by
killed
what,
you.
like 150?
Dang.
I'm like at
Golly.
306 right now. I got like the most points on the board.
3.
So, it's time for the championship.
Oh, yeah, we got a huge rematch. You versus my cousin Damon, who was undefeated until he faced you. And then you finally ended his streak like Undertaker in WrestleMania. Went down.
I'm the legend killer.
So
I ain't died yet.
no, you did die in Final Fantasy a long time ago.
But
So
yeah,
Albert, what's your recipe to actually win the chip, like to finish it out on top?
my team is, they do the talking for themselves. That's pretty much it. I got to pick up a new defensive team literally every week because somebody is always garbage. So that's usually my recipe. Good defense, a good tight end, and a good kicker. Those have been the recipes for success. Those have been like those are like my 6 men. Those are the ones who's been winning the championship for me, or at least winning the games for me. So this week I gotta find a new tight end because the tight ends I've been having for like the last 2 weeks been garbage. So looking forward to putting back on my crown.
Well, if you win, I won't feel so bad that I'm out of it because at least I lost to the person that won it all. But I'm still going for my cousin Damon. I hope you win. I'm supporting you 100%. Bring home the trophy. Do it for the family. All right, now Too Short versus E40. Did they hold it down for Oakland? For the Bay?
Man, did they? Did they? The Verzuz, I'm telling you, it was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. And it was the best Verzuz, honestly. We had some great and historic Verzuz. Shout out to Switz Beats and Timberland for, creating this platform. And shout out to the artists that, have agreed to go on. But this has been the best one thus far. E40 and Too Shorts, 2 Bay Area legends. Those are the ones that, put Too Shorts on one that put San Francisco, Oakland on the map. And then, E40 followed with his E40isms. I'm everywhere like air. I'm all over the place like space. So, those are some of the things
I ain't got
he says.
dressed by planning on growing some.
But, yeah, all in all, it was a great night. It was just funny, honestly. They played some great music. They had a lot in the vault. It really wasn't them going back and forth with each other. It was the Bay versus everybody else for the most part because they were just playing songs and they weren't even playing. They weren't even going, how everybody else has been going back and forth. They just was playing songs. They, Too Short would let E40 go for like 2 songs in a row. Then Too Short would talk for like 10 minutes. But yeah, it was really good.
It wasn't a normal versus. They just kind of did it their own pace, their own rules.
Yeah.
So
That's
what
what's
song were they playing when E40 was doing that dance? What song was he playing?
Ooh, I don't even remember. I don't even think he remembers because he was on something.
That man was groovy. I don't know what he was doing.
That's funny.
Yeah, Too Short pulled out the Biggie records, and that was, I wouldn't say you had a winner. So I think the Bay Area was the winner. Too Short got actually a lot in the vault with the Biggie records and then the Tupac records, and then he got some Jay-Z records in there. So it was overall, it was good versus. I thought I was there.
Boy.
Man.
All right, so we had Verzuz Saturday night, but we also had college football. Our Pick 6, Week 12, all college football games, no NFL because they were all conference championships. So, and there were just too many. We couldn't choose 3 out of the several games that they had that day. So let's look at our updated standings. See if anybody slid up or slid down or made their way up the standings. Nope. Still the same.
Oh, 1 game behind though.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, Albert.
Yeah, I think I was, 2 games behind last week?
Yep. Jeff, he took the risk. Last second, decided to go for the Fighting Irish. Also went for Iowa State. Almost came back and won that game. But Purdy threw a ball in the air that stayed up there for 3 minutes. I could have ran from my house. I could have ran from my house to Arlington and picked that off myself. Just yeah, that was unfortunate. But yeah, Kyron, you still have a healthy lead once again. 5-1 was your weekend overall record or weekend record. Jeff 3-3, Albert 4-2, and I'm 2-4. But could have easily been 4-2 because Florida Gators almost won that game against Bama. Would have been the craziest upset of the year. And then, as I said, Iowa State almost came back and won that game. But it didn't go my way this week. You know, usually it does.
Every other week.
Usually it does. Well, let's go over some of the games. The first one was Tulsa versus Cincinnati. That was actually a night game. Tulsa's QB, 13 of 30, 166 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Ritter, Cincinnati's QB, 19 of 29, 269 yards passing, 1 touchdown. And it was a close game for the most part. It was always like a one-possession game. Tulsa tried to make their way back and actually win the AAC championship, but Cincinnati pulled it off, remains undefeated. They play somebody in one of the New Year's 6 bowl games. I think it's Georgia, maybe. I think they play Georgia. Is that right, Tyler?
That is correct.
Okay. Oregon faced
at the
USC.
Peach Bowl.
Is that the Peach Bowl?
The Peach Bowl.
Okay. Oregon versus USC. That was an upset. We all picked the Trojans to win, but they lost to Oregon. Yeah, very tragic. Oregon went up. Me either. Oregon went up 14-7 in the first quarter. And then they both scored a touchdown in the second. Oregon scored a touchdown in the third quarter, and that put them up, not by a lot, but as I said about Kyron's pick 6 record, they had a healthy lead there in the second half. And then USC tried to rally back too, and it didn't happen. So they were undefeated. They were 5-0. Then with that loss, they're 5-1 now, and they had no chance when the committee got together Sunday to announce the final 4 teams. They had no case for them to be in that conversation to play in one of either the Rose Bowl or I think it's the Sugar Bowl?
They're playing the Fiesta Bowl.
Fiesta Bowl?
They play Iowa State.
Fiesta.
Speaking of Iowa State, Big 12 championship game, I think that was the game of the day. I think that was the best game. And it was a blowout at first. It was like 17-0. And then you start to see Iowa State also come back in the second half. But even when it was a blowout, it was just the intensity of the game. Iowa State's head coach was on the sideline. He wanted to, rip the head off of one of the referees. And the crowd was crazy in there. It was only like a small percentage of what you can actually fit into AT&T Stadium. But the crowd on both sides, they were just yelling at the top of their lungs and cheering on their teams. And it was just a great game. Rattler played pretty well, 12 incompletions, 272 yards, 1 touchdown. And then you had Purdy on the side. He had 3 interceptions, 3, and that's what cost them the game because, as I said earlier, he threw a ball so high in the air. Not totally his fault because the offensive line didn't protect him. And he threw the ball, threw a prayer like a minute and some change, and it was just too easy for Oklahoma's one of their defenders. It was too easy for him to catch the ball and seal the deal. Oklahoma's defense is something different about their defense this year than past years. Do you agree, Kyron?
I agree.
They actually had a defense this year. We're not used to them or just Big 12 teams in general having solid defenses.
That pass was living on a prayer. No Bon Jovi.
Oh my god.
Is that one of his corny jokes?
No, that's not even one of them. That's just
that's my it's like my E40 isms.
SEC championship. Did y'all watch that one?
Yes, sir.
What'd y'all think about it? Did y'all at any point think that Florida may actually have a chance?
Oh no.
Yeah, then I woke
Not
up
a
from my
chance.
dream.
Okay.
Maybe
No
they
chance
were
at all.
maybe they were David that night and could actually conquer Goliath. Y'all didn't think that at all? That never crossed your mind?
No.
Well, it did
It's
for
like-
me. When it was 31-35, I was like, okay, one more stop. That's all you need. And you can win this game. But it didn't happen, of course.
Did you hear that song that they came out to? Bama?
Uh-uh.
They came out to Vince McMahon. No chance. That's what you got.
You serious?
Funny.
It did the walk and everything.
Didn't Najee Harris have like 5 touchdowns in that game? Like 4 in the
Yeah, I
first
think he
half?
had like 4 in the first half.
Mhm.
Mac Jones went crazy. Obviously, Devontae Smith. Tyler, do you think Devontae Smith is number one as far as Heisman favorites?
Nah, I think my Heisman favorite, man, is got to be Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, even though he missed a
Trevor
game.
Lawrence, man.
Not his fault.
It don't matter with Trevor Lawrence, man. He just makes an impact on the game. I mean, look with Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame beat Clemson without Trevor, and then Trevor comes in the ACC championship, whole different team, and
Not
they
even
rout them.
close.
So,
Yeah.
and Trevor just has that impact. Now, no disrespect against him, but I mean, just Trevor for sure. Number one,
Long hair,
hands
don't
down.
care.
Don't care. Sunshine, baby.
He's the new T-Law.
Oh,
T-Law?
Yeah. Remember T-Law from, well, not T-Law. It's Ty-Law.
You mean Ty Law
Oh, I was like,
yeah.
what?
from the Patriots?
Oh, I was talking about Ty-Law from the NBA.
Oh, see, nobody checking for that dude.
Is he even still in the league?
Who's Ty Law?
heck no.
Tyler
Tyler
Lawson?
No.
Tyler
Yeah,
Lawson.
Tyler Lawson.
Oh,
Did he get like?
Play for
Nah,
Denver.
I think
that man
Kicked out overseas?
retired 7 years
he
ago.
retired a long time ago. Yeah, I was gonna say he gone. When you said Ty Law, man, I'm thinking NFL.
How does Trevor Lawrence remind you of Ty Lawson?
No, I was just like playing off the words, the wordplay.
T-Law.
Okay,
That's
Big
dope.
Ten. Northwestern versus Ohio State. Well, Northwestern was up. What was it? Was it just 3-0 or was it 10-0?
It was,
They got up like 10-3.
I think it was.
yeah, it was like 10-3, and then it was like
Yeah, 10-3.
14
10-3,
to
man.
like 7, I think.
Okay. Albert, you chose this team. This is
Yeah.
one of your L's. Did you actually think that when they went up, okay, Northwestern actually has a chance to win this one? And I get to prove it to Dylan that Ohio State definitely doesn't deserve to be in the CFP?
I did. I thought they had a chance, but I knew I couldn't be premature about it because it was only halftime, you know, them going up with the lead. So I knew they had more than enough time to come back during the second half. Northwestern been playing pretty good this year. So, you know, they were a reasonable candidate for the upset. It wasn't like Hail Mary. But obviously Ohio State came back and secured a dub. You know, I took that L, but I will take it again.
Yeah, you sent us that message when it was 10-0.
Yeah, I did. Fell asleep, woke up, everything changed. Nothing was the same.
Tyler,
Stay woke,
Northwestern
man.
is in your home state. So you probably know this program a little bit more than someone like us. How do you feel about Pat Fitzgerald building a team that could actually this team could be something special because they have a freshman on there that picked off Justin Fields, and that was his 6th interception of the year, tied most in the nation. Just a freshman. They have 2 top DBs already. So how you feel about this program, and do you think they can actually make some noise in the Big Ten and snap Ohio State? I think this is their 4th year in a row winning the title?
Yeah. Think about Northwestern, man. They have up and down years. It just depends on recruiting. Pat's a great coach, great motivator, great person to play for, but it just comes down to recruiting. And I think the one thing kind of with Northwestern, too, they've built like a brand new facility, like right on Lake Michigan, like millions and millions of dollars. Great education school, but I think competing in the Big Ten, you got to go up against Ohio State, got to go up against Michigan, a lot of powerhouses. So for him, it just comes down to recruiting. And I don't know, it just depends on if people want to go there or not. And I also heard that he's linked to some NFL jobs too. So does he stay? Does he leave? It's just kind of just up in the air right now. But personally, I think if it was me getting recruited, I would want to play for him just because of the type of person that he is. But Big Ten, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear that? It's tough. It's tough to play in the Big Ten,
Tough.
Albert.
It's tough. It's tough. You got to think about the weather,
They
man.
play off exactly. They play off the name. They don't play because they're always tough. The Ohio State is always going to be a contender for recruiting staff, but just because of the name.
That's it. And that's where you go. Think about Ohio State. They're probably one of the best teams that make adjustments.
Mm-hmm. They do.
I mean, they make adjustments at halftime. They might be down, 24-14, but second half comes around, man. They come and win that game. So it's just tough, especially in the Big Ten.
What'd you say?
So why are you looking like that?
I'm just listening. How great Ohio State is. It doesn't matter how much they're down by in the first half. Second half, it's a game of 2 halves.
Until they
second
get to
half, it's always
the
Ohio
playoffs.
State's.
It's two half, man. And me, it takes a lot for me to say that being a Michigan fan too, because every year Ohio State they have our number. I think with Harbaugh we're 0-5, maybe 1-4.
Yeah, I think
with
this
him
is
or
the
something
only
like
year
that.
they counted because of the forfeit.
Ohio State, man, just every year they're gonna win the Big Ten championship or contend for it.
Yeah, I know I Googled Michigan a few weeks ago to look up their logo. I was going to copy and paste it to something, and Ohio State's logo kept coming up. I was like, why? Why is that happening? I guess because
we're their little brother.
Because they own you.
They own us, man. We are definitely the team up north, man. We are definitely that team up north.
Yeah, Ohio State probably
sad.
got the best recruiting staff, and there's that Midwestern sort of north part of the country where they get snow, but it's not as bad as Michigan. It's definitely not as bad as Northwestern. So they're kind of on the even ground. So they get lucky with that too.
Man, that wind is not kind in Evanston.
No, it is not right off the lake, man.
Like Michigan.
I can't imagine going to North School, man.
Man, Northwestern's a beautiful school, but it's just tough for recruiting.
Kyron, what do you think about Trey Sermon, Ohio State's running back? 29 carries, 331 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Are you impressed by that? This man ran 3 whole football fields. And
I'm impressed with that, man. 29 touches, 300-some yards, bro. That's pretty impressive.
You think he's the reason why they won the game? Because Justin Fields, he had 15 incompletions, 12 for 27, 2 interceptions, and 114 passing yards.
Yeah, bro. That definitely plays a part in it.
Does his NFL stock go down?
Justin Fields?
Yeah.
15 incompletions? I mean, I don't know, bro. Everybody has a bad game, but I don't know. I don't think it hurts it.
You don't think scouts, when they see this and it's a championship game, they're not like, okay, if he's not ready for the big lights. We saw what happened against Clemson in the CFP semifinals last year, and they were up by a lot. He didn't show up in the second half. maybe they're like, we probably need to rethink our prospect board and probably look for someone else.
I don't know, man. Everybody's going to have a bad game. It wasn't his day. I mean, you just got to charge it to the game.
Okay. I like the optimism there.
Not going down.
Down. It's going down.
Man.
That ain't no problem. Your day coming, Al.
What?
Your day is coming. New Year's.
Nah.
It will be a new day.
Nah.
Speaking of Clemson, the team that they faced, that the Ohio State faced in the semifinal last year, they're playing them again in the semifinal this year in New Orleans. On New Year's Day, they faced Notre Dame. Jeff, you did it for the pod. You try to take a high risk, high reward. You were like, okay, this is my only chance. I can't keep picking the same teams that Mr. Pick Six picks if I want to be Mr. Pick Six. And you saw the game. What were you thinking in the first half when Clemson was up by 100 points? Were you like, dang?
Going into the game, I know I messed up, man.
It was GG's after the first quarter.
See, like Tyler said earlier, Trevor Lawrence, this man is something else. He's good. He's number one draft pick. Simple. When you have him at the helm, it opens up your whole playbook. You can use his legs. His arm is fantastic. I mean, he's just the complete package. We saw their first go around, Clemson versus Notre Dame. It went to overtime with the 5-star freshman. Put Trevor Lawrence in there, and they were up 100 to 3 in the first quarter. So
True story.
yeah, I know with him being back, I mean, I just took the gamble for the pod. High risk, high reward. But as soon as I said, I know I messed up.
Getting ahead of yourself.
I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish.
Go Irish, go!
I had no belief in it.
Receivers was on
Can't
the
go
island.
against
that
sunshine,
game.
man.
Or was trying to snap his finger like Thanos. Let's go back.
Well, we appreciate you doing that for the podsters. Oh, by the way, podsters, for you who are returning, thank you for keeping them ties strong, and for the ones that this is your first episode, and you're like, someone, if you got this word of mouth and you were like, I thought there were only 4 co-hosts. No, we have a new one. His name is Tyler. We thank you for joining the ties, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode and many more to come. Now, so we got the bowl games out the way. You already seen the updated standings for Pick Six. Now let's go ahead and look at who plays in the semifinals on New Year's. There you have it. You see number 1 Alabama versus number 4 Notre Dame. They play Friday. Initially, they were going to play in Pasadena.
Yeah,
but they moved. Yeah, they moved the game to Arlington, Texas. You'll never see the Rose Bowl in Texas. That's something that's
crazy.
In Pasadena always, but I know that Coach Kelly, Notre Dame's coach, said that he didn't want to play in the semifinals if family couldn't attend the game. So I don't know if that played a huge part in the committee relocating the game, but it's pretty awesome that we have the Rose Bowl, one of the most historical bowl games in the history of college football, in our backyard. So that's really cool. And then you have semifinal rematch, number 2 Clemson versus number 3 Ohio State, Sugar Bowl in New Orleans on the same day. at a later time. So that's exciting. Do y'all agree that these 4 teams should have been in it?
Absolutely not. I'll let somebody else go first.
Well, who was snubbed? Is it Jimbo Fisher and Kellen Mond?
Cincinnati got snubbed.
Cincinnati or Coastal Carolina? Or UNT?
UNT got blown out today. They got blown out today.
I had to put them in there. Go Mean Green. I think they should play Alabama.
What?
You look at it.
I watch that game.
Year after year, the committee gets it wrong. It is at this point, it's like a popularity contest. I think the college football playoffs was, enacted so they can actually get it right. They can sit down and say, hey, these are the best 4 teams. And from there, these teams could fight it out, and then go to the championship. But again, they continuously get it wrong. Like Texas A&M should have been in there. They only lost to Alabama, the best team in the nation. Alabama's consistently good. So honestly, it's like did they even really lose? And then the Big Ten, all they did was simply change their minimum games from 12 games to 6, allowing their team, pretty much Ohio State, which is always their front runner coming out of the Big Ten, to compete in that title game, win over Northwestern, and now they're in the semifinals. So I think it's, they missed it. Even look at the Army. Army went 9-2 this year. Like they played better than Ohio State. Honestly, let's be honest. There's a lot of teams.
God. Stop it.
Stop
the cap. Stop.
And then,
just like Jesse. Stop it, Albert. Stop it. What? You don't
Albert,
believe
man, that helped Cincy's case though too.
How do you get punished for going undefeated?
Exactly.
One last
Cincy's
thing.
case too.
The Big Ten. The reason why they Ohio State only plays 6 games is because of COVID. They also shortened their quarantine requirement from 21 days to 17 days. So that plays a big part. So you let a team that only wins 6 games go to the college football playoffs, but you also make a risk factor, bringing it down from 21 days to 17 days just so you can get your team in there. Are you really like playing for the sport, or are you just playing because you want Ohio State in there again?
Of course you want Ohio State in there again.
I'm tired of seeing them as a Michigan fan. I'm tired of seeing them in there. I think the team that should have been in there was A&M.
And why is that?
Out of everybody.
Let's go.
Like what Albert just said, man. I mean, you only lost to Bama.
What did he say? I tuned him out a long time ago.
You talking about the only loss was against Bama. And if you look at their strength of schedule, I think they're like 10th for strength of schedule. I mean, you can't – they got snubbed, point-blank period. Ohio State, you only play 6 games. I understand because of COVID. But if any team, A&M's got to get a shot.
A&M didn't play anybody.
Have them get that.
They played Bama and Florida, and that's it.
And Florida. Okay, then who did Ohio State play? They only played
Indiana.
6 games. 1 game. Okay, Penn State was garbage.
Penn State.
Do we really count Penn State?
Michigan State. They blew out Michigan State. They would have blown out Michigan.
We know that. Yeah, I know that as a Michigan fan. That was give them a W.
So they didn't play anybody.
They didn't play anybody. They only played 6 games.
The committee said Ohio State, they had 1 more win as far as defeating a ranked team than Texas A&M had playing a full schedule, basically. You have 1 more win against a ranked team, and you played half the games that A&M played.
How many ranked teams did they play?
Say that again.
Like probably 2. 2 to their 1 because they only played 6 games.
3. So that's half.
So do you consider Penn State? I mean, when they played Penn State was ranked 18th.
Exactly.
But
Does
Penn
that really
State
matter?
I don't think it does.
Because
during that time, I mean, yeah, it does. But now, if you look at how they are,
it doesn't matter. They were ranked high in the preseason polls. It doesn't matter.
But that don't really matter because
the only team that to me matters is Indiana.
Yeah.
So I'll give you 1.
There's a lot of teams that start off ranked and then after like 2 games, they're not ranked anymore. Like the rankings really don't matter. That's a popularity contest too, because it's not really based off of who's good. Texas shouldn't even be ranked. They're ranked number 20, and I still don't see how they're ranked. So you playing a ranked team really doesn't matter. It's if that team's good or not. Like
I see.
That's like Oklahoma. Like I agree with you about Texas, but yeah, Oklahoma shouldn't even been in the Big 12 championship. They were in one of the last top 2 teams in that conference.
Dude, saying Cincinnati got robbed, man. How do you? I just don't understand. I still don't understand. How you, number 8, nowhere near contention. You didn't get beat by anyone. I don't understand it. Should change the conference to change it to CFP to CFPC. College football popularity contest, because that's what it is. Or write a letter to them. Change the name.
Tyler has to go pretty soon, but one last question: when it comes to Michigan and Detroit Lions, what do they need to do to get back to any type of contention?
Fire everybody. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man.
Just like that.
Fire everybody. I mean, you got to start somewhere. I mean, I was talking about Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, I mean, you come back to your university, a lot of hope, and you can't even win games. You can't win big games. And you're supposed to be this great coach to produce quarterbacks. You haven't produced one quarterback really since you've been there. I mean, you have J.J. McCarthy coming in this year. But I think if you want to make a change, you got to fire some people. You got to fire the offense coordinator, defense coordinator. You got to start fresh and just development, man. If you look at Ohio State, I'm going to keep saying it. Ohio State developed players. Michigan State, whatever reason, they can't develop these 4-star, 5-star recruits. They get one, and one might make it, but other than that, I mean, they just can't develop players right now. So I think it starts with Jim. If Jim doesn't win this year, then I think he's going to be gone the following year. And the person I'm hoping they go out and get is the Iowa State head coach. I think that would be a good pick. But also you got to look, if you fire him, I mean, who do you go pick up right now? There's really nobody out there that, speaks. I say Urban Meyer, but Urban Meyer will never come.
No, he didn't even want to come to Texas.
To Michigan. And
I think he wanted to come to Texas.
I think he did, but him and what's the head coach? Tom Herman are like good friends. So they kind of just that too. Now the Lions, Todd Patricia was our guy coming from under Belichick, but that didn't work out. I wish they never fired Jim Caldwell to begin with. I mean, I think under him, we made the playoffs 2 out of 4 years with him. We just needed defense. But if we had to hire somebody, I like the 49ers head coach, or just not a head coach, defense coordinator. I think that if you brought him over, because our defense is trash. You got Stafford, who's a guy who can sling it. We have wide receivers. We have tight ends. We have decent, but our defense, for whatever reason, every year is just garbage.
What about Eric Bieniemy, Kansas City offense coordinator?
I like him too, or even the Bills offense coordinator.
How long do you think they're going to give Stafford a chance? I feel like Stafford's been there for a long time with no actual results.
If it was me as an organization, like Stafford, I love you. I want you to go win somewhere else. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to produce that for the past how many years. I'm going to make a trade, somewhere so you can go try to win a championship. And then, like I said, Calvin retired early. The Lions forced him to retirement. But Stafford, year in and year out, man, he takes a beating. And next year he takes another beating. And we go 6-10. Or we go 9-7.
Be like Andrew Luck.
We're like the Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
We're like the Cowboys, honestly. All these hopes every year, and then mid-season it just dwindles away.
We actually had a chance this year, though. No one said Detroit Lions had a chance.
We made it to like the first game, and we're like,
don't say we. When you talk about the Cowboys, say they.
Why? I always pick the Cowboys to win.
You're not one of those fans that can say we yet. You're not there yet.
Oh, okay, Roger.
You have 10 more years.
Did you see my baby pick? Let's bring the baby pick back up. I was born in a Cowboys jersey. Troy Aikman, to be exact.
Okay. All right, TJ, we're going to let you go, man. Appreciate you coming on and giving us
Appreciate you having me.
some of your time. Happy holidays to you and your family. Stay safe out there. It's a cold world. Bundle up.
Bundled up. That's why I got the beanie on right now, man. I'm about to go outside in this snow and head on home.
Cold world, no J. Cole.
Hey, J. Cole, man, he about to be in the league.
Hey.
He's about to be in the league.
Taking LiAngelo's spot.
Taking LiAngelo's spot. That's why they had to cut somebody. It was Ball. So I got to make room.
Ooh, facts.
He was really on the team.
Who, Ball?
Yeah.
Too high for
He's
him,
only be a water boy, man. That's all he can do.
LeVar is
Go
gonna,
to Charlotte, man, and
disown
mellow his water.
LiAngelo and adopt J. Cole and call him Jermaine Ball.
might as well.
He gonna go to the big three.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing that, honestly.
Yeah, but don't you have to like play at least one NBA game? Be
Exactly. That's what
eligible for the big three?
I'm going to say this before I leave. The Lions are going to upset the Buccaneers Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Hot take.
You heard it here. Lions are going to upset the Buccaneers.
That's actually one of our pick six games, too.
Hottest take.
Hey, Lions at home against the Bucs.
Who you have in this one?
The Ravens. I'll take the Ravens. That's easy.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Washington. Is it at home for Green Bay?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Packers. Seahawks. Man, I don't know how the Rams – how do you lose to the Jets?
Mm-hmm.
How?
That's super embarrassing.
And I gotta say this: I'm gonna take the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, man. I'm on the Jalen Hurts.
All right, well,
train.
thanks once again. I know with it being the holidays, I know your schedule is jam packed. So thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. So we're gonna let you go.
Jalen Hurts, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe. Happy holidays.
All right, man.
Holidays, man.
Take care.
Thanks for having me. Yep.
No, Drake.
All right. Now, our picks for pick six. So you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions. The Bucs almost lost against the Falcons, but the Falcons were the Falcons, and they decided to let the Buccaneers win. They were like, well, we're not going to the playoffs anyway. They forgot they weren't even in the hunt. So they were like, yeah, let's just let Tom Brady win. Help him get his 7th ring.
They always blow leads.
Yep. So they play the Lions. Who do you have, Kyron, winning this one?
Tampa Bay.
Pick six.
Tampa Bay taking this one.
Okay. Jeff?
I got Tampa.
Albert?
Yeah, I got Tampa. They came back. I thought they was going to get blown out. I was actually watching the game, and I'm like, oh, yeah, Tampa Bay getting smashed. And then next thing you know, they come back. That's been the story all season for the Buccaneers, pretty much. They've been on a comeback season. So, yeah, I got the Bucs taking this one.
Is this the game they got to punch their ticket to get into the playoffs, too?
Who, the Buccaneers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have to keep winning. I think it's still you still have like the Chicago Bears right there in the hunt. Who else is in there?
I think about the C. No, we're
Seahawks already in there.
Seahawks in first place.
They just got it.
Well, I don't think they clinched it yet, but they're in first place. In
okay,
their
I thought they
division.
clinched.
You have, so they're pretty comfortable right now. They're 9-5. If they lose their next 2 games and the Bears win their next 2, then it's a different story. So really, you have the Bears right there in the hunt. The Arizona Cardinals, they're in that dangerous spot, that last seed, where the Bears could take over. But I don't see that happening with the Bears being so inconsistent. I think Kyler Murray will take his team to the postseason this year. But my pick for this game, I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions.
We see why you lose every week.
Let's go. Tampa Bay, you keep playing. You keep playing like with these NFL teams, like they're not NFL teams. Not every team's gonna let you come back.
Yeah.
Being down by 2 possession leads. The Atlanta Falcons, yes. Detroit Lions, yes. But I think that Matthew Stafford and company will actually get this win at home.
How you say Atlanta Falcons, then say Detroit Lions? Yes.
Because Detroit Lions, they blow leads too. But not this one. It won't happen this weekend on Saturday. They play Saturday. So I'm going with Detroit.
Did anybody find out why they're playing on Saturday?
That's so odd, man.
I think the last few weeks they spread them out. They're not.
Is
all
it because of
placed
ratings or like because of COVID? Because it's never been a thing.
They've done it before.
Yeah, they did it last year.
Yeah.
I don't time I used to see them play on Saturdays for like the playoffs.
I don't understand why they started last week though. You can't compete when it comes to ratings when you have college football conference championship games on. I wouldn't do it then.
Yeah.
But maybe they weren't really worrying about that, I guess. But yeah, Giants versus Ravens. Who do you have for this one? Because the NFC East division, all 4 teams are still in it, really. So the Giants are still in it. They're in 3rd place right now. So they need this win. Every team needs to win their games. Do you think the Giants win this one?
Well, they need to win.
They're taking the L.
But yeah, they need to win, but they're not going to get it.
Facts.
Yeah,
Like how Colt McCoy is playing the other day, but they're not taking this. They're not taking this dub. Lamar Jackson has been showing significant improvement over the last 2 weeks, so I got the Ravens with this one.
The Giants we're talking about. If Lamar poops to bed against the Giants, he needs to go sit down somewhere.
They're playing really well. They came back and beat Cleveland. They came back. Oh, they didn't come back. They blew out Jacksonville. So they're on a nice winning streak, and they need to win their games because I think – are they still on the outside looking in?
Who, the Giants? Yeah.
Ravens.
No, the Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens.
I think they are.
Hey.
Yeah, they're in that 8th spot. They have the same record as the Dolphins. But yeah, they need to keep winning.
The Dolphins making the playoffs this year.
The Dolphins are?
Or you think that?
I think so.
Who they play next week? They play the Raiders.
Ooh.
Mariota.
That's a dub.
And then their last week they played the.
Last week they played the Patriots. Right?
Last week they played the Bills. You better hope Josh Allen is benched.
Nah, they win in that game.
You better hope they're resting their starters for the playoffs. That's the only way you're winning that game against Buffalo.
Buffalo looking nice.
Yeah,
they are. They're the sleeper team.
I agree with that.
They are the sleeper team.
No, man. Everybody looking out for them, man. Everyone knows what they about.
Yeah,
you might as well just skip this game.
Who are you picking? Because I'm going with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Teddy, let's get it. I wish Christian McCaffrey was playing in this game. They could use him.
We see why Dylan's record is like 12 and 88.
I can't pick Washington because if Washington wins this game, they basically win the NFC East. We need them to lose out for the Cowboys. Well, the Cowboys need to handle their own business. They need to win their last 2 games. So I'm going with the Panthers. I'm putting it into the universe. So Washington loses, and we've been – well, not me, but everybody else in the world has been clowning the Cowboys. And if they actually make it to the playoffs, what a Cinderella story.
Not really.
Panthers. Rah!
I got the football team taking this one. I don't want them to win, but it's the obvious.
I'm a believer in their defense, man. I'm starting to become a believer in there.
I would show a picture of me at the Panthers game a few years back against the Chiefs before Mahomes when Alex Smith was a QB. And I was there outside pounding that drum that you saw Steph Curry pound or other Panthers fans, they pound pregame. That's me Sunday when they face Washington. Let's go, Panthers. Win the game for the Cowboys.
I got Washington.
Oh, well, you're not getting a Christmas card this year. Titans versus Packers.
Oh man,
This is gonna be a good game.
this was a tough
Yeah.
one.
I'm going with the Packers. It's not tough. Aaron
But I'm going
Rodgers,
with the Packers too.
Devontae Adams.
I'm going with the Titans.
Let's
Oh!
go.
You too,
Let's
Albert.
go.
Yo,
Interesting.
Yes. Did you see that man? The man that wasn't a man?
the man that plays like King Henry one day, and then the next week he plays like the Joker Henry.
That ain't what my fantasy saying. He been consistent for the most
That
part.
Oh,
That man been stiff arming people. That man said, "Get out of here." He said, "Come on,
He has a whole catalog of stiff arms now.
this man got something in his arm, brother. Dude.
like Dragon Ball Z."
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
I would
all
also
kinda
get
weights.
500 rushing yards in 2 weeks if I had to play the Jets and the Lions, or not the Jets. Who they play the week before that?
It doesn't matter. They're still an NFL team.
Oh yeah.
Zeke couldn't get no 500 yards. He could barely get 100 yards a season. No matter who we playing.
Does Zeke owe you money?
He does,
man.
actually. He owed me time for the games I watched him fumble, and I can't get my time back, so you owe me money. Get at me, Zeke.
So we're split on this one. Titans and Packers.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Packers ain't been playing that well.
This is for the NFC West, basically. Well, not really, but the Rams win this one. They take back the number one spot in the division. And then you have Russ and the Seahawks. Both teams played terrible. They played terribly last week. You had the Rams lose to the Jets. Jets fans are upset. Like, how do you tank the whole season? And then at the end of the year, you're like, well, let's win some games. And you possibly lose out on a generational talent like Trevor Lawrence. Then you have the
Don't care about
Seahawks.
that.
Or, yeah, the players don't. But Adam Gase should. And then the Seahawks, they played the Washington football team, and they barely won that game. And Russ did not have a great game.
No, he had like 125, one touchdown, one interception, and they had a good lead actually because I looked up and I seen I was beating you so bad. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be even better. But I looked back later and they barely won. I was like, come on now.
That man had the
It says,
sprinkle in it.
it says pick 6 on here, not Final Fantasy. Why you keep bringing up
He's
our
adding insult
matchup?
to injury.
I know, just adding salt to the wound.
Ooh.
That's why the Hawks are winning.
Yep.
I'm going with the Seahawks too.
Logically, like I just don't understand. You lose to the Jets.
Logically.
You lost to the Jets last week.
And that could be a good reason why they're going to win this week.
Yeah, they're gonna be so embarrassed. They really can't lose 2 games in a row. They'll probably knock some heads
Explain
off.
that to
Aaron
me,
Donald. Aaron Donald is killing Russell Wilson. But it
Explain
depends
that to
on who
me,
plays. It depends on who plays worse, Jared Goff or Russell Wilson. That's who determines the result of the game.
Facts. I'm going with the Seahawks.
He made his point that he could see the Rams coming out playing really well on their P's and Q's because you just lost to one of the worst teams in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still
Yes.
going to lose.
Yep.
And you respect this team, this opponent, a lot more than your previous opponent. No one
See,
takes the Jets seriously.
True story.
Exactly. But the way I look at it is, like you just said, Dylan, are you going to trust Jared Goff to play worse or Russell Wilson? And I believe Jared Goff is going to play worse than Russell Wilson. So I'm going with the Jets. I mean, not the Jets, but the Seahawks.
Oh, what?
You picking the Jets to beat the Browns?
No.
Last one. Let's go.
Game of
Jalen
the
Hurts.
week.
Jalen Hurts had an incredible game. barely lost against the Cardinals. Kyler Murray also had a great game. But let's talk about the Cowboys. Mo teams banged up. The game goes back and forth. AT&T Stadium is rocking. Tony Pollard has a great game. Our defense, we're like the best defense to ever be assembled. We get at least 4 turnovers a game. 4 turnovers. The Steelers were number 1. Now it's the Cowboys. And for that reason, I'm picking the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Let's go. NFC East champions. 2020 NFC East champions. I remember what year we were in.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Easy year to forget.
Well, I am going to agree with you because I'm picking the Cowboys this week.
Okay.
Well, looking at last week.
Hola. We the boys.
They put up numbers last week, man. I expect them to keep it up.
They put up numbers, but their defense wasn't that great. They had injuries again. Everybody was out. They did get some they got 2 interceptions. It was great. But the problem is, and they got 2 fumbles?
Yeah, 4 turnovers.
The problem is their defense is inconsistent. I mean, they can't stop anything. It's like they were up 14-0 or 14-3, and then they just let them come back, and it's like they didn't even. It's just a defensive garbage, but I got the Cowboys.
Let's go.
Yes.
What the heck?
I know. That man basically trashed us, that whole monologue he just had.
Psych.
And then said Cowboys.
Because Jalen Hurts is new, and the way the Cowboys defense has been playing, they've actually, playing for their paycheck. So they're going to put a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts, and I see them taking this dub.
You guys all made valid points, but I'm going with the Eagles. The Hurts show continues.
And you're going to be hurt. You look at the final score at your newspaper, on the newspaper at your doorstep. You still get newspapers?
Boy, no.
All right, we'll see. I hope this goes our way because we're currently in second place. Who would have thunk that? Second place? That's a win in itself. That's an accomplishment. But we're not satisfied. Yeah, we're not satisfied. We're coming for that division championship. Jeff, you're canceled. You're definitely not getting a Christmas card next year either.
Boy, I'm Santa.
All right. Let's have an open discussion about this. I want to get your opinion. We talked about Isaiah Thomas, his comments that he made not too long ago about how he dominated MJ's teams late 80s during his prime, his peak. And Kyron and Jeff, you disagree with us saying domination is not the word to use. Albert and I, we agreed with what he said. Now, maybe how he said it was a little off, but hey, when you win that many playoff series and you win championships during that time, is valid. But now, Randy Moss is talking about him being number 1 in the wide receiver position, putting T.O. number 2. And Jerry Rice, he's probably 3, maybe number 135, something like that, wherever you want to put him. That's basically what he said. But here's a quote. I'll put myself first. I'll put T.O. second. I think Jerry is probably 3rd or 4th. But Jerry clapped back and he said, if Randy wants to be number 1, that's fine. My main thing was all about the rings.
Let's go.
Oh, pin drop.
He does have 3 rings compared to Randy's 0. I was about to say 1, but they didn't win that year when he was with the Patriots. Could have had a perfect season, but they fell short.
Egg.
So what do y'all think about Randy's comments and what Jerry Rice had to say? Does Jerry Rice need the champion? Does he need the championships to solidify himself as being the GOAT?
I'm glad you asked that question, Dylan. Because yes.
He does?
Well, no, he doesn't. He doesn't need it.
But,
but it puts the cherry on top of the ice cream, the whipped cream. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Check this out. I've been waiting for this conversation for a long time. I got all kinds of stats here.
Ooh. Let's go.
So check this out. Randy Moss, he's entitled to his opinion, like I said earlier.
Right. True.
But guess what? Stop the cap! Stop the cap, Randy. Stop the cap, man. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, we all got on caps. He was capping.
Boy, he was cappity cap, boy. Mr. Capalot, boy, I tell you, boy. Oh my goodness.
Mr. Capalot.
Bro, check this out. So, Randy Moss had a point, and Jerry Rice did have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Steve Young and Joe Montana. So yes, that does benefit him. But at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. All right, this man, bro, Jerry Rice, he played 20 seasons. T.O. played 16. Randy Moss played 14. All right, so Jerry Rice did have the longer career, which means he's been healthier to be able to sustain a 20-year career. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's start off with Mr. Randy. All right. Randy Moss. He is bigger and he's more athletic, which I feel like that's the point that he was trying to make for T.O. and himself as why that they feel like they're the better receiver because they're able to, catch more, double coverage, catch more balls in double coverage, yada, 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 blah, 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 whatever. But at the end of the day, Jerry Rice, in the biggest moments, sealed the deal. His numbers in the playoffs speak for themselves. What have Randy Moss and Terrell Owens done in the playoffs?
Oh, they back up on T.O. now.
Why?
Because we forget T.O. played hurt with that basically a broken ankle in the Super Bowl, and he didn't have to.
Yeah, he had to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he gave it his all, but the team still turned it back on him.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Drip Klaus.
I'll get to T.O. in a second, but we're talking about Randy Moss right now. All right, Randy Moss. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Super Bowl wins, Jerry Rice 3. Randy Moss, goose egg. Super Bowl MVP, Jerry Rice 1. Randy Moss, goose egg.
About to have a carton.
For real. Looking kind of one-sided here.
Super Bowl appearances, we got 4 to Jerry Rice, 2 for Randy Moss. So, 50%, that's, cool,
That last one for Randy Moss didn't count.
He don't make up for them.
It's an appearance.
He was a shell of himself.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still an appearance. It goes under his name.
Playoff
Playoff appearances, we got 15 for Jerry Rice, 7 for Randy Moss.
Not looking good.
Nope.
Not at all. And then we have NFL MVPs. 1 for Jerry Rice. And guess what? A goose egg for Randy Moss. Tough. I got more stats, but I'm just leave it there. Actually, let me bring one more in there. Pro Bowls really doesn't mean anything, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Back then it did.
I'm going to say it anyways. You do have a point there. But 13 for Jerry Rice. And 7 for Randy Moss.
Oh! I thought you were going to say a goose egg.
Me too.
Nah.
No.
Randy
Randy was that
Randy
guy.
Moss had. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It sounds like he doesn't have an argument here.
He doesn't.
All his argument is that he's basically more athletic. He's more of an athletic receiver than Jerry.
Well, I just think
Which
they
he
were
was.
saying. I think their whole argument was
He
that
was, yeah.
the QB situation.
I think.
Yeah, that's another
Go
one.
ahead,
but-
Carl.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, just like the drop off in QBs. I mean that may be true, but you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. He still had to get open. He still had to, do what he had to do to get the ball. So it's like, is there like really an argument there?
The only problem I have with this is my top receivers is Jerry, T.O., Randy, in that order. There are, it's not an argument that those are the three best. So I don't know why Randy said I think he's third or fourth. There's nothing wrong with him saying like Jeff said, it's his opinion. Nothing wrong with him thinking he was the best receiver of all time because, if we do something, you want to be the best at whatever you're doing. So I don't have a problem with that, but I had a problem with saying, hey, I think he's third or fourth. Like, remember who Jerry Rice was. If it wasn't for Jerry Rice, it wouldn't be no T.O., it wouldn't be a Randy Moss. The problem I have with Jerry Rice is the ring situation because the rings really doesn't matter. It's about the stats at the end of the day because when you go into the Hall of Fame, rings don't matter until they only matter for quarterbacks at the end of the day. The other positional players, huh?
But he had a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, but Jerry Rice said he can be number one, but what matters was the rings or the championships, and it doesn't matter because you don't need rings to get in the Hall of Fame if you're a positional player. Only if you're a quarterback. That's what really is like the determining factor that sets you apart from the next person. Because Jerry's stats, if he never got 3 championships, he would have still been in the Super Bowl. I said the Super Bowl would still been in the Hall of Fame, just like T.O. and Randy Moss is. They're in there without championships, so the championship part really doesn't matter. He should have just like he did. He posted the stats like, "Hey, all you got to see, I'm the number one and pretty much everything." So I don't know why you even talking.
Yeah, he was just saying.
Rings do matter.
He was saying more about I don't care what Randy Moss has to say or where he puts me on the all-time rankings. All I cared about playing when it came down to it was, did I win a championship when my career is said and done? So the fact that he has 3, that's fine. He just wanted to put it all out there on the field, win some championships, which he did, and then let his stats and everything else speak for themselves. But, you're immortal when you raise up that Lombardi trophy. So I don't think that's what he was trying to say. Like, he doesn't care about what your opinion is when it comes to, like, top 10 list of all-time great football players or wide receivers. He just cares about the championships, which he won and Randy Moss didn't. So I think that was more of a shot at Randy Moss making it twice and being on the losing side.
Uh-huh.
But the QB part, it is, if Randy wants to make a case for that, yeah, I guess, Randy, he did have Tom Brady, Brett Favre for a little bit there, but Tom Brady, you should have won a championship with Tom Brady. That was like the perfect just matchup there. The greatest QB of all time and possibly the greatest wide receiver. They had the best season together where Randy Moss caught all those touchdowns and Tom Brady threw for 50 touchdowns. So they definitely had the best season. But I'm giving it to Jerry. 21 seasons. Not only do you go to the Super Bowl those 3 times and win with the 49ers, but you go with the Oakland Raiders when you're like the oldest person in the league and you play well in that game. You weren't a shell of yourself like Randy Moss was when he played for the 49ers against the Ravens. And then somebody tweeted this. At age 40, Randy Moss had been out of the league for 5 years. When Jerry Rice was 40, he caught 92 passes 1,211 receiving yards for the Raiders. At 40 years old, he was out there schooling them young boys who were guarding him.
Exactly.
And for any fans out there or anybody that thinks they know football, if you really agree with Randy Moss saying that he's the greatest wide receiver or he should be number one, then the only reason why you think that is because when you played football outside, you heard, "Oh, you just got mossed." And that's the only reason why. But if you actually do your homework and you watch some films, some highlights of Jerry Rice, you'll see he was a bad boy. So I can't agree with Randy Moss. But I do put Randy Moss above Terrell Owens. Why do you put T.O. at number 2?
I'm biased. I've always followed T.O. since like the beginning of his career, so I'm biased with that. T.O. is just a beast. No matter where he went, even when he was with the Bengals, with him and Ocho Cinco, and even with the Bills, he gave it his all. And no matter what his off the field antics were, he always gave it his. He left it on the field every time. So nobody can say that Terrell Owens shorted them a game or he didn't give it his all. I just thought T.O. was a beast no matter what.
I respect it.
But I'm not mad with Randy being above
Not.
T.O. 'cause Randy was that guy.
Yeah.
The only reason he said T.O. was second because he was going to get kicked off T.O.'s podcast.
Right.
Heck yeah.
'Cause if he was
I
somewhere
always
else,
thought Randy and T.O. used to beef. So
they probably did back in their day.
Yeah. I mean, they were basically the top receivers in that time period.
Yeah, 1A, 1B.
But, yeah. I mean, Randy's obviously slightly better than T.O. Slightly. Just slightly.
Yeah. If you put them 2 or 3, either one of them, it could go either way. I don't really think that anybody could say, well, he's head and shoulders above this guy. They both had similar stats and careers. But interesting.
This remind me of when Paul Pierce was like, he had a better career than D Wade.
I will never forgive that man for that.
Like, boy, if you don't sit down somewhere.
Yeah, but people were being flagrant though. They were making it seem like Paul Pierce was Glenn Davis, Big Baby Davis or something. That man carried the Boston. He carried the franchise for a long time when they were winning 17 games, and he was loyal and putting up numbers, still being an all-star.
You want to know D-Wade?
Yeah.
Wasn't
D-Wade at all.
I saw D-Wade single-handedly beat the Mavericks in 06 in the finals. Well, him and the ref that was cheating, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
All right, that will end episode 29. Once again, thank you to our honorary Pod Ties co-host, Tyler. And thank you to my brothers who always take time to make excellent content. We'll be back for episode 30. Let me do a little business here real quick. Get some business out the way. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Pod Ties. Smash, smash, smash the like button. Give us a thumbs up. Then that notification bell. We need you to destroy it.
Jab, jab, jab. Weep, jab.
You can also stream our episodes on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and much more.
Global.
As always, we are Pod Ties. I'm Dylan. That's Jeff. That's Albert. And that's Kyron. Peace, Podsters.
We out. It's always funny when you do that because that's not where everybody is on my screen.
Yeah.
me either.